What is going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 148 of Littleroot Lessons. As always, I'm your host, Carter Noble, joined by our fantastic co-host, Carl Wilkin. Sup, dude?
Happy New Year.
It is a good new year. I'm very excited for, basically everything that's happened in the last year. I'm very grateful for everyone for sticking around and all that good stuff. But so where are we at, man? What are we doing?
With the new year means we get IRL events back. San Diego is this weekend.
True.
We'll be talking a little bit about that today. Not really quite talking about results, but maybe some expectations. We also have our circuit starting back up this week. Both the dojos and our first Rumble is also this weekend. We'll touch on the changes to that setup here in a little bit because there's some things that changed. A lot of little things here and there, but for the most part, it's kind of the same. You play in events, you earn points. It's just what those points mean and how much you get and how many you need is what matters.
So I think it's appropriate just to jump right in because I think this is going to be something a lot of our community is going to be very excited about, and having it here at the top of the show also means that it's going to bring in a lot of people too, right?
Yeah, people are here right now. No one's left yet.
So, for those who are new to the community, who are new to our content and everything, in the past we have ran seasons of invitationals. This is going to be our third season. It's obviously going to be the first one for Scarlet and Violet. In the past, they've been like 6-month series. We're cutting that back to be a 3-month event, so that players are like less likely to be burnt out by the end of it.
Yeah, that was a big problem last year.
I think being able to really incentivize people to continue to play throughout the entire 3 months is a big part of it. In the past, we also had paid events. We're moving away from paid events and doing all free events, but so then the question is, Carter, if everything is free, how do I qualify for the invitational? We're moving to a point-based system, kind of like what we did for the last couple, where we've had, your points which qualify you for the last X spots of the invitational, right? This time, it is just a threshold you have to meet.
Yep.
So, in the past, I think it's been like 6 or 8 slots that we've devoted just to the top point leaders of the season. And instead, we're now moving it to 40 points is the bare minimum you need to be able to qualify for the invitational. Right. There's 2 different ways to earn points through our Rumbles, which are like Swiss-based events, and then through our Dojo, which is a weekly best of 3 event that we run.
Yeah.
Where you play 1 best of 3, you earn points for playing. So, the dojo is very simple. It's something that Aaron has been running for a while. It's going to be something that we continue to run. You sign up every Monday. Pairings get put up on Wednesday. In the next week, you play whoever you're paired up with. Winner gets 4 points. Loser gets 1 point. You earn points.
Yep.
Super, super simple.
Which 10 dojo wins gets you in. And so there's essentially 4 weeks. We're running it for like 3 months, but it's actually just 12 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So because February's in there, the weeks are weird.
Yep.
I think there's 5 weeks in February, and then 3 weeks in there's 5 weeks in January, 3 in February, and then it kind of bleeds into March.
Yes, that sounds
weird.
Correct.
It's weird, but it ends up being 12 dojos, which is the important thing.
Yep. So 10-2 in just dojo matches qualifies you for the invitational. But let's say that you go 9-3. How are you going to earn those last few points? We're also going to run our Rumbles, which are going to be 6 events held on Saturdays every other week from this Saturday till 12 weeks from now.
I think it's the end of March.
Yeah, that sounds correct. That would make sense.
You know who would know? The calendar on the website.
Correct. So the winner of the Rumble earns 20 points. So winning 2 Rumbles qualifies you for the Invitational if that's how you want to do it. Obviously, that is very doable. There's 6 events. That's possible. The more likely outcome is some combination of like Rumble entries and like top cuts in those, plus dojo wins equals a path to the Invitational.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
The expectation is you play in a couple Rumbles, you earn some points that way. You may not always do really well in the Rumbles. Sometimes you have an off day, you get a couple points there. You do decently in the dojo, maybe get 7 or 8 wins. You eventually get to 40. That's the idea. We wanted this to be more inclusive and still easy to obtain, but we want you to participate throughout the season in all of these events.
Historically, something we've had a problem with is our paid events had very low turnout, and as a result, were easier competition per se because there's less people to play.
Yeah.
And that was your best shot of earning a spot in the Invitational because, well, if there's only 8 people who show up and I play well enough, that's an easy spot in. But
exactly.
Because we're moving away from paid events, I'm hoping that the Rumbles bring in more people to play and therefore are able to pay out more points because points are going to be based on your top cut. So more people who play, the larger top cut, the more people earn points.
Exactly. Your first, second, third, fourth, those are pretty much locked up every time we play. First one obviously is first place is half your total points you'll need for the season.
Yep.
It's 20. Second place gets you 15, so you would need to do 2 seconds plus a dojo win or 2. Third place would be 12, kind of the same thing. Fourth is 10. And then outside of that, if there's no rest of top cut, if top cut is top 4, everyone else gets 2 points, regardless of if you're 6th or 5th or last. It's 2 points all the way down. But if we can get more people into those top cut spots, then 5th through 8 get 8 points. If we get even more people, top 16, 9 through 16th is 6 points. And it's so on and so on. I believe I have it capped at top 32 because if we get anything bigger than a top 32, we're in trouble.
I would be impressed, yes. I would be very impressed if we get anything larger than a top 32. If we start running, like open style events where we're running our own regionals every weekend.
If we get to that point where it's anything, like I believe at what's the cap for?
I think that's like 128.
Yeah, like if we get to 128 players, that would be awesome for us because we're not used to that.
I would be more than impressed, to put it very simply.
I don't remember what the PCI does, what their cutoff is for top cuts and things like that.
I have no idea. But so the plan as of now, all events are going to be on Saturdays. It's best of 1 Swiss into best of 3 top cut, based on attendance. So, if there's 16 players, that means 4 rounds of Swiss into a top cut of 8 people, I think is what we're doing.
Something like that, yeah.
All because we're, playing the same formats as like your regionals and everything. We want these to be good experience for regionals. They are going to be open team sheets. Everything is going to be on cart, so make sure that either you have access to the team sheet of the rental you're using, or you have your team built on cart and have the team sheet available for that as well.
I'll tell you for free, open team sheet for rentals is super duper easy. You literally go into Showdown and copy everything you see on the rental screen.
Yep.
It's that simple.
It's really that simple. Yep. The rental, like whenever you grab the rental, just that screenshot. That's all you need. That's your open team sheet.
That's it. That's all it is.
So yeah, this is very exciting. I'm very excited to get back into this. Season 2 didn't go great for us, and I'm very excited to get back into this, especially after how much our community has grown from the player draft league and everything else. I'm really hoping that these Rumbles do really well. So, Invitational, we will obviously figure out more about that event in the future. That is something that we're still working on, like finalizing it and everything. But that will most likely be Saturday plus Sunday of a weekend. Historically, we've done like double elimination, but not quite sure what we're going to do yet because we don't know how many people are going to qualify. I think that's a big part of it. So,
yeah, if we get a bunch of people in, double elimination will go by faster.
Mm-hmm.
Then overall. Okay, so I'm looking at what the PCI does for their top cuts. They don't go past 32.
Oh, okay.
So we might just cap it at top 32.
Yeah, that's fine. In the event we ever hit like 64 players, then we'll just do a top 32 or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll just cap it at top 32. And
if we ever hit over 64 players, we'll figure it out then. But yeah, this is going to be very exciting. I'm really looking forward to this. And as this episode goes up, I'm assuming signups for this Saturday's event will be live.
Yep, it'll be live Monday morning.
Cool.
When this goes up, or a little bit after this goes up. Might be sooner than that. I don't know yet.
Yeah.
Depends on how much free time I have tonight.
Legitimately, it could be down in the show notes, like in the description of this video if you're listening on YouTube or whatever. So,
yep. All the information.
We do need to add the caveat that you need to be in our Discord server to be able to receive pings of the event going on. That link is always down in the description of the video, of the podcast, however you are listening to this, that description, it's always down in the description. You have to be in the Discord to be able to play in this event. If you are not, you will be dropped.
Yep. Unfortunately, it's just ease of access for us because there is no ping system like we had on Battlefy.
Yep.
Like Battlefy, we can get away with it because I can just ping people and it's fine. Or the round will ping for the next round and things like that. For Limitless, I don't have that option. I need to be like ever vigilant on keeping track of that stuff. And so if I can't get a hold of you or you can't talk to me, we're going to have a problem.
I do also want to add that as point totals come in, that is going to be updated on the website, lrlessons.com. If you have questions about like what the invitational is or anything else, the FAQ is there as well. As we get closer to the invitational, that will be updated to include details about the invitational. Our calendar for events is also up on the website. So if you're ever curious of, is there an event this weekend? Go check the website.
Yep. Website has everything you need.
And hear me out on this, be a part of the Discord, and you'll get pinged on Monday when we have events going up.
That is also a good way to
know. It's that
know.
simple. It's really, really simple. If you are interested in playing at events, we will provide them to you.
It's funny. I have the invitational set up for be April Fool's Day with how everything fell.
Fun fact, that's my parents' anniversary.
Well, there you go.
That I think is like a good, few minute rant about the circuit and what's going to happen here.
Did you talk about what the formats will be as we go through this? It'll always be whatever the official format is.
I actually hadn't mentioned that. I'm glad you did. So yeah,
because
Series
we changed
1...
formats after like about a quarter of the way through.
Yeah, so Series 1 ends at the end of January.
Yes.
So as of now, we have an event on the 7th, the 21st, and then the 4th will be Series 2.
Yep.
So the 4th, the 18th...
You'll have a couple days to build your teams.
Yep.
Will be one of the first events for Series 2.
Good luck. That's the same
cool
weekend. Is that the same weekend as Orlando?
I think so. I think I have it set up to where it's almost all of our events are lined up on a VGC weekend.
Knoxville's the 25th, and we don't have one that weekend.
Yeah, because we have one the 18th.
Yep. And the only reason I know that date off the top of my head is because I'm going.
Have you decided if you're flying or driving yet?
I don't know. I think we're going to end up driving, but...
If you drive, I might go with you.
The problem is we're going for a week.
I will take a week off from work. I'll go find a different place to stay. I don't care.
I know. I don't know yet. Flights aren't bad, but because we're going for the week, I would really like to be able to have a car and not have to rent for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's like what you say, like, do you save because you flew down and then rented a car for a week, or take Ubers everywhere, or
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's always the thing, right?
So I don't know. Plus, I really don't know what we're doing yet. I don't know when we're leaving or anything else. I
will tell you, it'll be cold.
Yeah, who cares? All I know is I can't go to Dollywood like I planned because they're closed.
Yep, it's wintertime.
I'm so mad. Jay and Josh and I were so pumped to go to Dollywood, and then I had to message Josh. I'm just like, they're not open.
Womp womp.
I'm so mad. But whatever. So speaking of events, this weekend is San Diego.
I'm excited. I'm excited for IRL events to come back because
I am too, man. It has been so freaking long.
Like, I've been kind of spying on the TCG events when they pop up on YouTube, and I kind of like check them out every once in a while. Like, viewership is in the tank.
Well,
like I don't know. I was just like, because I don't know if it's because it's just VG. It's not VGC. It's just Go and TCG. And they have very, like, I don't know what it is about TCG. Watching TCG on YouTube or Twitch is abysmal.
Dude, and, like, this is the same problem we had with Magic coverage. Unless you are, like, ingrained in the culture and, like, know everything, it is impossible to follow.
Yeah.
Because you can pop up the cards and have the image on the screen of, like, what you're talking about. But that helps you know 1 out of 60 cards.
And like, sometimes it's just like it's the alt art and not the actual art because it's a fancy it's one of the rare cards. Perfect example. RCSV. I believe there are 4 printings of that card. Wow.
I think there's the regular, the promo, the alt art, and the full art. I'm pretty sure there's 4. I don't think there's 5. I don't think there's a gold. I know there's a gold of the V Star, but I don't think there is of the V.
But you also have to like when you're on screen, you're looking at a picture probably no bigger than this on a fairly large screen, trying to see like what picture is that? Is that Arceus V? Is it Arceus V Star? Trying to follow along with what's going on, it's hard. Magic was the same way. It's really hard. They all play with sleeves. Sleeves reflect light. They have glare, so it's even harder to tell what's going on.
Yep.
Whereas VGC is nice because it tells you on the screen what's happening.
So I really love the TCG. I really do. If like I wasn't fully involved in Sword and Shield, I would be playing the TCG. I would figure out something to play. Mm-hmm. Luckily, I am in a position where my girlfriend works at an LGS, and we have a very large collection. And like we have decks to play. And she was talking to her boss, and she's like, "Hey, if I figure out what I want to play, can I just like take stuff from your collection to play it?" It's like, yeah, obviously. so like,
yeah, that's just one of the perks. It's like you have access to the stuff as long as it ends up back where it's supposed to. It's fine.
And so I think she is going to play. She is actually going to play in Knoxville, and I'm very excited for her.
Oh, that would be great.
I think she said, regardless of what happens, she's going to play Malamar. So like, I'm also very excited about that because it was her first deck that I built for her. It was like $20. And we have turned it into much more than $20.
Yeah, I've seen some of the pretty cards that you can find for those.
Dude, so there's a new like limited like print set that it's similar to like Shining Fates was, where it's like you can only get it in ETBs. And in there's an like alt art Cynthia's Ambition, and it looks amazing, and I love it.
I've seen this. Okay, yeah, I have seen that card.
And they're like $100 some right now.
Jeez.
But dude, they're so freaking pretty. But I'm not sure if that is going to be out in English by the time Knoxville is around. I don't know when that set actually comes out.
I don't know.
But yeah, she's pretty much locked in what she's playing. She called me yesterday because she went and played locals on Saturday, and she called me. She's like, "Man, I screwed up. I misplayed because I haven't played this forever." She's like, "I'm mad about it." I'm like, "Look, this is why you start prep 2 months in advance,
exactly.
So you make these mistakes now and not at a regional when it could actually cost you. Like, losing at a local is no big deal." There's nothing on the line here. It will be okay.
Yeah. That's fine.
So yeah, the TCG has tanked viewerships.
Yeah. I'm excited for like eyes to get back onto like Pokemon as a game, just because the VGC just brings in people in general to watch it. Like, you don't even have to like enjoy the game. People come to watch it just to watch it.
Because
that bleeds into the other games, like in downtime, because it's just like you're watching the VGC. Oh, they're on break. Let's go see what Go's doing. Let's go see what TCG's doing.
And like, here's the thing: if you've ever played a Pokemon game, you can follow the VGC. It's obviously going to be a little more complicated than you remember back in Red and Blue.
Yeah,
there's going to be 1,000 new Pokemon, but like, literally, still, you can figure out what's going on. Yeah. You're like, that giant fish thing is attacking really hard.
It got plus whatever earlier, and it hits really hard.
And like, I know how stat boost work. This is fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to like I've had people reach out and they're like, "Hey, what's this VGC thing about?" I'm like, "Oh, Billy, do I have if only I knew a guy."
let me tell you.
And yeah, it's really awesome. I have a couple different buddies who are looking to go to Knoxville and everything to play as well. So
good.
So before we get to Knoxville, though, we have there's two series 1 events, and then Orlando is going to be series 2.
Orlando is, I know, series 2. I know there's San Diego.
Is there anything in between San Diego and Orlando?
I don't remember. What I'm looking for right now.
I also am pulling it up. What do you got for me, Victory Road? Let's see. There is nothing in between San Diego and Orlando.
Okay, so it's San Diego, then Orlando, and then Knoxville?
No, that's a lie. That's a lie. There's no U.S. ones. Liverpool is the 21st.
Is that so? That'll be Series 1.
Yes.
And then Orlando will be Series 2.
Yes.
Is there anything between Orlando and Knoxville?
No, there is a EU event the same date as Knoxville.
We'll have extra data to cover then. Got it.
Yes. And I believe that's all I'm seeing right now.
Okay. So, Series 1, we've been in it for about essentially a month and a half. We kind of got it leaked a little early.
Yep.
And I've liked where the format's gone. There's
I
this cool Terra rock paper scissors thing happening. Have you seen what's happening with Terra types?
Yes, so, I have.
The big ones are like, Terra Steel Hydreigon was great, and Sylveon was kind of the answer, and then it's like, oh, they Terra Steel it, so now I can't do anything to it. Well, now I'm going to be Terra Fire Sylveon, because I resist Steel, and I'm going to be able to hit the Hydreigon super effectively. They figured out Terra Blast was a really good move. Who knew? Especially on Sylveon. But then Hydreigon's like, well, I can do that too. I'm a Terra Fire. Now what are you going to do? Because now I resist both your Fire and your Fairy type.
Mm-hmm.
Now Sylveon's Terra Water. And So now it's like you Terra Water to hit the Terra Fire Hydreigons, but you also still resist the Terra Steel Hydreigons that would be attacking you normally, which is hilarious.
Yep.
And so now the question is, does Hydreigon go to Terra Electric and play Terra Blast to beat the Terra Water Sylveons? It's this fun little just triangle of rotations because they can't go to Terra Poison. Terra Poison doesn't do anything.
Correct. Terra Poison lets you hit Sylveon effectively, but like
it's just neutral damage. You're not OHKOing it like you were with Terra Steel into Sylveon or Terra Fire into whatever. But and so it's just like they could go I don't think Hydreigon gets any kind of grass coverage whatsoever. So it is Terra Electric is the only like thing to go with Terra Blast, or they just go in Terra Grass with Terra Blast. Which Terra
you said for Sylveon?
Yeah.
Sylveon gets Trailblaze.
So no, Hydreigon doesn't have any grass coverage. This is the answer to Terra
Hydreigon. Got it.
Hydreigon gets Thunderfang, if I remember right.
That's interesting. I don't want to play physical Hydreigon, though.
I think those are the only two electric moves Hydreigon gets. It's Thunder Wave and Thunder Fang. So you would have to run Terra Blast, which is fine.
Yep, that is correct. Grass, you get none. So, like, either way, you're running Terra Blast.
Yeah. Which, then it becomes just like, is that worth it? You could go back to Terra Steel, but you're not hitting it super effectively anymore. Like, you're not hitting it super effective damage. So it's just like, is that worth it? Because it's going to be hitting you for neutral with Terra Blast Water. I don't know. It's just a fun thing to think about. It's just like, oh, well, this nice little rotary of Terra types is happening. And once you go Terra Electric, the Sylveons will go Terra Ground with Terra Blast. And then you can go back to doing whatever.
But see, here's the thing. Terra Ground doesn't do anything into Hydreigon.
I know.
Because you're immune. So,
no,
like,
you just want to be immune to theirs.
Yeah.
That's what Sylveon can just sit there and still click the fairy move and be fine. Mm-hmm. Because they're no longer going to be immune to resistant to fairy. That's the thing, is Sylveon wins that with Terra Water. Sylveon wins most of the time. You just want to be able to be at least have something to answer it on Hydreigon's part, but Sylveon doesn't need to answer it. They can two-shot you and be fine.
Yeah, I was scrolling through Twitter, and there is... I saw someone who posted like a team sheet for an event they were playing today, and they were playing Terra Rock Sylveon.
Interesting.
Which, I think that is really interesting. The problem is like, you don't check Garchomp then. Like...
Yeah, you kind of can't...
And like, you're still weak to Steel that way.
Which,
so
fun fact,
I don't know.
Terra Steel is the most popular Terra type, I believe, in any other type. So
yep, you're
gonna run into it or Terra Fire more often than not.
It's like Steel is one of the best types in the game or something, and so anything being able to turn
10 resistances and an immunity would be good.
And like, it's obnoxious. I love Steel types. I do think they need another nerf.
What could we do to nerf Steel? I don't think we could think of anything offhand.
Make it weak to water.
Water already resists it, so water already beats it.
I think that's like the most logical, like, real world application thing you could do is water rusts Steel, and so therefore you can make Steel weak to it.
Steel resists Dragon. Steel resists.
I think you could also remove the resistance to Dragon. I think I'm fine with that one too.
Needs to kind of stay because it's just like Sword and Shield, Knight beats the Dragon kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because that is one of the big checks to Dragon is Steel types. Like, you have Fairy, but Fairy isn't that great. So it's just like Steel is a Terra Steel is the strongest Terra type in the game. Period, hands down. There's no debate to it.
Man,
Steel would have to drastically be changed to get something else. I think Terra Fire is like the second best right now.
I think There's an argument you could, like, remove the psychic resistance.
That seems fine.
But, like, looking at it, I think you could make it weak to water, and I think you can remove the psychic weakness, and I think that balances it quite a bit.
Do you remember Gen 2 Steel?
Yeah, it was stupid.
Let's
it did
resist
everything.
Dark and Ghost, too. It's just like... Oh.
Dude, here's the thing. That was the thing till Gen 6.
Yeah.
They're like, alright, well, Steel's not good enough. We have to nerf it. But let's also make another type weak to it.
Yeah. Anywho, my big hot take is we're going to see a ton of Terra Steel at San Diego.
Yeah,
that's
100%.
If you go through and just count all of the Pokemon on their Terra types, Terra Steel will probably come out on top.
Yep, I agree. I do think my hot take for this event is Dondozo Tatsugiri is going to be very popular for day 1, and it's not going to translate to teams in day 2. I think that there is a lot of things that beat Dondozo, and I think a lot of people are going to be prepared for it, anticipating it to be popular at this event. Because here's the thing. The Mons that beat Dondozo do other things. That's not their only role. So, like, one of the biggest things I think is still super underexplored is Unaware Skeledirge. Because you have access to Terra, you can change your type to be able to resist every hit coming out from Dondozo. Because this is open team sheet, you're aware of what types they're going to be able to Terra into. So, like, you're going to be able to figure out what your best Dondozo answer is. Like, there's this really popular Rest Talk set running around to be able to beat Amoonguss. But here's the thing. Your attacks on that set are Wave Crash and Earthquake. It's like, you just Terra into something that, like, let's see, what can you do? There's nothing that resists both water and ground, right? I'm not crazy.
Grass, I think, is the one thing that that resists both water and ground. Grass does.
Yes. So you can just turn mono grass, and, like, now you resist both. You're able to put them to sleep, and, like, they can't do anything to you. So, like, I don't know. You can haze them. You have unaware Pokemon. There's a lot of things that you're just like. I mean, yeah, like
Cat Urshifu.
Make them commit their Terra to it, and then you're just like, okay, whatever.
Yep, and then you answer the Terra. Then you're able to just deal with the Terra type, and it's fine.
Yeah.
I think you're a little bit out of the loop. A lot of the Dondozos have started to go Terra Flying in response to these Terra Grass Terra types.
Yeah, which, I mean, I've seen it. I've ran into it.
It has a double purpose, too, because it makes you immune to Fissure. And opposing Earthquake. But the Fissure is the big thing because the Dondozo mirrors are the problem. That's the part that people aren't liking. Because they take forever. And so people started running Fissure on Dondozo, and it's optimal. It actually is optimal because you can win games that way.
I haven't seen that, and now I'm mad.
I talk about it a little bit in the deep dives when I touch on Dondozo. Dondozo is probably one of the best things to play with right now because the teams that are playing Dondozo are literally playing Dondozo, Tatsugiri, and then 4 other mods. There's no extra help you need to give Dondozo, Tatsugiri because there's not going to be anything else on the field when those 2 are together. So you get to play with team select advantage because they have to respect the Dozo.
Mm-hmm.
They have to respect Dondozo, and instead you can just have 4 other really good Mons that they all have to check and respect. And so you get to find teams' weak points, especially in a best of 3. It forces opponents to really adapt really hard, and just like Colossal, if it happens to be, oh, you got me this game, well, now you got to think about, do I just bring Dondozo and run it again? Do I change my game plan? Whereas a lot of these teams where they have to play Skeleturge, they have to play Meowscarada, they don't get that kind of flexibility. Like, the teams, they need more support because they're a single mon. They're going to have a partner on the field, and that partner has to help them, or they have to play together well. Like, you don't want double fire weakness, you don't want double water weakness, and things like that. Which Terra helps 100%. That a little bit, but I do think Dondozo is going to have a lot of day one. We'll see it a ton day one. There'll be a lot of drop off to day two. It'll probably have one of the worst conversion rates of the event. I still think Dondozo wins San Diego though. If it doesn't win San Diego, it will be in the finals.
I don't know, man. I really don't.
Like, a lot of what Dondozo's good at is it applies so much pressure at Team Select that your opponent has to respect it. Even through open team sheet, you get to see, as the Dondozo player, what are their answers to my Dozo? Can I beat this Pokemon?
And that is a big part of it, is like, you're able to see what they have for it, and like, the game's is not good, you just don't bring it.
Exactly. Imagine if we had open team sheets in Sword and Shield era for Colossal. Imagine how good that thing would have been on top of that. Like, Colossal was good mainly due to the fact that, like, people were practiced with it, they could play around the weaknesses for it and things like that. People knew what to look for. In this game, because we have Terra types, there's that hidden element, that hidden information. Well, now that's not hidden anymore. Now we know, hey, these are the moves they have. This is what they can hit for my Dozo super effectively. I have this Terra type. I can dodge these things, so I just have to focus on getting that mon taken care of. Or I have to focus on avoiding that Pokemon. And so now Dondozo has a leg up over everybody. I think we'll see a lot of Haze, Gengar, Haze Murkrow, Haze Palafin will probably be up and around. Mainly just because all those Pokemon are very fast. They can carry Scarf safely. In the case of Murkrow, it has Prankster Haze. I think it's the only Prankster Haze, if I remember right, in this gen.
That sounds correct, yes.
I think Goldango will be terrible. Because everything is Terra Steel or Terra Fire or is a Garchomp.
Yeah.
That'll be a lot of the problems. I think Goldango peaked a little too soon. There are still some cool things you can do with Goldango. Terra Fairy is really cool because it does get Dazzling Gleam. Its coverage move pool is very deep. But I think Goldango's going to be one of the low points. It's probably the lowest it's been since the start of Series 1.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
I'm trying to think of other things to think about. Oh, Intimidate will be very popular again. Intimidate's going to be good again.
Mm-hmm.
It's already trending upwards as it is because everyone's dropping the clear amulets and things like that. Just for more damage because people have figured out, hey, I know how to live these hits. Well, now they have to calc for Life Orb, or they have to calc for Choice Band, or have to calc for Terra Ground and things like that. So I expect Intimidate to be good again. It's already on the rise. I expect it to do well. Tauros, I think the Tauros Aqua Breed, is that what it's called? Is that how they define the
That sounds correct, yes.
I think Aqua Breed's going to probably be one of the breakout Pokemon of this event. I think trying to think of other good Intimidators right now. I think Gyarados will pop up a little bit more, mainly due to the fact that people will be bringing Meowscarada and Skeleturge as Dondozo answers, and Terra Flying Gyarados answers both of those very cleanly.
Mm-hmm.
You got anything else you want to talk about for San Diego?
I think that the Double Dragon Core is still very good.
Hydreigon, Garchomp, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm. I think it has fallen off quite a bit on ladder from what I've seen. I haven't played against it in quite a while.
I blame Baxcalibur and Nondozo.
I think Baxcalibur is an interesting Pokemon. Man, I really do think that Haze is going to be important for this weekend. I think that
Haze, Clear Smog, stat reset of some sort.
Yeah,
just because Dozo is so good, and everybody else.
Not only that, man. It's just like I think the number of people who are just gonna like have random tech pieces of like, oh, I have a Swords Dance here, or a Dragon Dance here, or a Calm Mind, or it's just like, all right, well, none of that matters. You wasted a turn. Thanks. Or here's a Belly Drum. Good luck.
I think like, part of the setup meta is people know when they have it and when they don't now.
Mm-hmm.
And so things like Haze will be known about. And so you as a setup player kind of get to play around that a little bit easier. Like, oh, this thing has Haze. I shouldn't click the setup move in front of it most of the time unless I can knock it out this turn. Or next turn. Before it gets to do its thing. That's why I was saying like things like Gengar and Palafin will probably be more popular because they can like carry Scarf and can threaten that very fast Haze, but isn't Prankster.
Yep, I agree.
So we'll see things like that probably more.
Yep. I don't know. I think it's very interesting, and I'm very, very excited for this weekend.
Yeah. I'm excited for our data because Limitless picks up the team sheets for us. We don't have to gather the data anymore.
Yep.
It'll all be there on Limitless, and it'll be so nice. Oh, I'm so excited.
Yep. I'm very excited for it.
Ow. That hurt. Sorry, listeners. I smacked the desk with my knee. That hurt. Trying to sit up.
Don't do that.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what comes out of San Diego. I'm ready for the weird things to pop up because like everyone now that we knew IRL events were coming back, so everyone's keeping their techs kind of hidden. I feel like all of the events leading up to this have just been like people testing things. And now we'll start to see like the really weird things, the really cool Terra types, and some not so commonly used Mons and things like that.
Yeah, I think it'll be really cool. I don't know, man. I think there's a lot of really interesting tech that's gonna pop up this week, and we're gonna have a lot to talk about next week, and I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, we're gonna have so much to talk about.
But yeah, that's what I've got.
Yeah, I was trying to think if there's anything else that I could think about that's gonna happen this weekend, and I don't think there possibly could be like anything like crazy off the wall. I'm trying to think of like what maybe we see Tinkaton finally do something.
Hell yeah, brother. Sign me up.
Like
that's all I want in this world.
That's like the big thing I could think of. Is Tinkaton maybe makes an appearance. But beyond that, I'm not quite sure. You know, it's just like it's the first event of the year. Anything's possible. Anything and everything's possible.
100%. 100%.
So what does that bring us? That brings us to Team of the Week, right? Is that where we're going? I don't remember.
I don't even remember what I played. Yes, I do.
Yeah, you do.
Yes, I do. So, longtime viewers of the channel are very, very familiar with Slacking. He's been a longtime member of our Discord. He's one of my very good friends in real life. And he is also one of the craziest team builders I have ever met in my life.
Yeah.
I think. And man, when he hits hard. And you know, there's been multiple times where he's just like, "Hey, what do you think of this?" I'm just like, "What are you doing, buddy? Like, what is going on here?"
It's funny because I think it took a real long time for him to get another team on here. He had one of the first teams we've ever had for
I
laddering.
think he was number 2. He was the like skill swap intimidate team from forever ago.
Yeah.
And it was sick. I loved it. And then he, real life caught up with him. He was working a lot and just like was not able really to play Sword and Shield like he wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
And so then during like leak season, he's like, hey, what do you think of this? What do you think is going on? How do you feel about this? I'm just like, look, dude, we don't have solid details about anything yet. Let's just back off for half a second. And he hasn't been around here the last couple weeks, but I'm hoping with me doing this, he sees it and comes back because, dude, his stuff is great.
Yeah, he is the first Littleroot laddering episode.
Oh, is he? Sick.
Yes.
Sick.
And so it's only fitting that he comes back for Scarlet and Violet with this banger of a team.
And dude, it's so good. He posted this like a month ago, and we've been so busy playing everything else, and I was looking for stuff to play this week. I'm like, I can dig this. So, we have, just running down the 6 here, we have Torkoal, Azu, Vivillon, Clodsire, Gallade, and Salamence. What's very interesting about this is we don't have like a Trick Room mode, but we still have Torkoal here. And I think this is something I brought up once we played the team. Because instead of having Trick Room on Gallade like you would normally see, instead we have this super sweet tech of Will-O-Wisp, which was not very relevant. I don't think I clicked it in the video once, but like I could also see how it could be useful.
Yeah.
In hindsight, I think I would rather have Trick Room to complement Torkoal more.
Normally Gallade sets are double stab moves, Will-O-Wisp, and Trick Room. They don't usually carry Protect.
Oh, really? See, yeah. I don't think I've ever played with a Will-O-Wisp Gallade. I didn't know it had access to it till I loaded up this team.
Will-O-Wisp actually is one of the big reasons why it's played, because it is this psychic fighting type, the offensive moves that has a support move in the way of Will-O-Wisp and Trick Room. It also gets access to Wide Guard, which is really, really good.
That one I've ran into a couple times.
Usually the sets are Trick Room, Wide Guard, Sacred Sword, Psycho Cut. Or Will-O-Wisp, Trick Room, Sacred Sword, Psycho Cut. Sometimes they're Terra Dark with Night Slash as their only damaging move. That one's really interesting. But a lot of the time, so seeing Protect on here, and when I was going through and looking at what's going on with this team when you sent it to me, I was just like, it's easier to list off what's normal about this team than it is to list off what's weird, because
that's actually pretty accurate.
There's so much going on here at face value, and then you kind of start digging into what's actually going on, and there's just a lot more.
So, something that I definitely mentioned in the video is Clodsire is a really cool answer into Dondozo, having access to Unaware plus Haze plus Yawn. The downside is like, you also just have better Dondozo answers of Sacred Sword Gallade, Will-O-Wisp it, you have Intimidate for it, you have Sleep Powder, you have Belly Drum Azu, which once you put it to sleep you get a free setup, and you just have Torkoal to Earth Power them.
Yeah.
Everything on this team in some capacity is able to deal with Dondozo, and Clodsire, it never came to a match, and I don't think I ever would have really wanted it.
Yeah. Unfortunately for Clodsire, its typing is fine. It's just not that great in the whole stats department, so it kind of feels like a liability when you bring it.
It has a lot of things working for it as a Pokemon for singles.
Yeah, as a singles Pokemon, this thing is a monster. I will tell you that for free.
Yeah.
But doubles, it just isn't quite there to where it can live a double up most of the time.
Something else that is really interesting is we have this Mirror Herb on Salamence, which, with the amount of setup that's in this format, is actually kind of interesting.
I was about to say, how many free Dragon Dances did you get?
0 Dragon Dances. I brought it out against an Azu, and the turn I Terra Steel, anticipating them to either play rough me or go for belly drum. And I was really hoping they'd belly drum. Instead, they did go for the play rough. They connect. I then get my dual wing beat off, which then puts them into where they eat their citrus berry, and I'm able to KO them. Like, I'm able to put them low enough that belly drum doesn't trigger the next turn. It's like, there was an instance where I was really, really close to getting a free belly drum with Salamence.
Yeah.
I did get a Defiant boost off of Annihilate.
Well, there you go. There's one thing, at least.
Which is actually kind of interesting because I forgot Annihilate has access to Defiant.
Yeah, that's a fun thing. A lot of people have gone to Vital Spirit with Intimidate being so low, and that's another reason why Intimidate is starting to trend back up.
They're over here setting up with like bulk up and everything. I'm just like, all right, cool. I'll switch in Salamence and I'll get a free bulk up here. And then I trigger Defiant and I'm just like, that also just works.
Yeah, that's fine.
Like I had Tailwind up at the time, so I'm just like, all right, well, dual wing beat just KOs this thing, even if they are at +1. Like I'm at +2 and I'm a Salamence. Like this is gonna slap.
Yeah.
Torkoal was really cool on this team. It was able to do just like a ton of damage to a ton of different things, and man, it really, really wants Trick Room.
Yeah, the team feels like you have double Tailwind. It feels like you really need that Trick Room. Like you said, you could put it on Gallade. You could also just drop Clodsire for another for a guaranteed Trick Room setter.
I was talking to Jay about it, and that was the conclusion I came to. Is just like drop Clodsire and play like Armarouge.
Armarouge,
or Meowscarada, or like Meowscarada also does that really interesting thing of like you can lead it plus Vivillon, and it's like, what form of speed control am I going for? And like you can do that with Gallade too. It's just like, all right, well, instead of Tailwind plus attack, instead I'm gonna Rage Powder, set Trick Room, and like suddenly I'm really far ahead because you set Tailwind with your Murkrow. Like,
I was thinking you could keep the Haze and just go Gengar.
I mean, that's also applicable.
Having access, I think having access to that Haze is still a thing you want. It's just you can't really fit like a Murkrow on this team because you have Pavilion and Salamence all wanting to kind of just be on the field at the same time to set your Tailwind.
You could just play like Gothitelle. Gothitelle gives you fake out pressure, so you can like reasonably set your Tailwinds. It gives you access to Trick Room. It gives you like Shadow Tag, so like you're able to just like annoy the heck out of your opponent.
Then you could play Perish Azumarill.
But man, Belly Drum was very good every time, and I clicked it multiple times.
Oh yeah, I bet.
I think every game I brought Azumarill, I got Belly Drum up, and like it was good every time.
Yeah.
Vivillon also did work. I think I brought Azumarill and Vivillon to almost every game. In fact, I think I did bring them to every game, and then like it was either like Gallade, Torkoal, or Salamence in like the remaining 2 slots. Like Gallade slaps really freaking hard. Torkoal, if left unchecked, does a ton of damage, and Salamence, like, I think you could reasonably drop Tailwind and play Dragon Dance and like just have another setup mon. But like also like I clicked Tailwind with Salamence a couple different times and it was good every time because people don't anticipate it.
Yeah, that's one of the cool things about like the Hydreigon too is Hydreigon is another one of those dragon types that gets Tailwind now, and that catches a lot of people off guard too. And so it'll be interesting to see if this kind of like Salamence with Intimidate and Tailwind kind of picks up in usage. For sure.
Yeah, this seems definitely really fun. If you're looking for something off the wall and wacky, this is it. Go play it. It's sick. And please tell me that I'm wrong about Clodsire in the comments.
Yep. So, that brings us to the end of the show. You'll notice there's no Mystery Mon this week.
After talking it over with Carl, I think we're just going to move to having it on the various short space platforms. It shortens up the podcast episode a little bit, and like the numbers for the shorts have been well, the YouTube shorts have been
hit or
all
miss.
over the wall. That's
just normal YouTube shorts though. The algorithm's a mess.
But like TikTok has been absolutely absurd. I'm actually gonna pull it up right now and see how this week's is done.
But yeah, so if you want to follow along with Mysterymon, definitely go check out the TikTok. I believe we're Littleroot Lessons on TikTok.
Yep.
And then we'll also be posting them on YouTube on the same day under the Shorts tab. You can always find it there.
Dude, we are very close to hitting 10,000 plays on one of our videos
on TikTok. Nice. That's nice. That's always good. That's always a good feeling.
We are officially over 100 followers on TikTok as well.
Hooray! We almost made it to 500 subs on YouTube before the new year. We were very close.
Dude, we really are. I was joking with you beforehand. It's just like, I'm gonna just go win Knoxville, and then we're gonna hit sub.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna get YouTube partner or whatever attention. It's called.
Yeah.
Like that's all it takes is I have to go win, and then ta-da, we're good.
Yeah. Just go win. It'll be fine.
Yep. So yeah, go follow us on TikTok. That's where you can continue up with all the shorts content and guess that mystery bond. So if you really enjoyed it, by all means, please go show those accounts some loves.
I feel like we should at least acknowledge the mystery bond, the last one we covered. That way people people at least have, who only follow it on the podcast, at least have some closure there.
Yes. Yes.
So I don't remember what the hints were, but I didn't know what it was before you had said the hints, and I figured it out. So I'm very proud of that. I
don't know what happened to my sticky notes.
I don't know. I have a sticky note. We'll talk about that soon in a second, though.
There we go. Yeah, so last week's we had... this is the only fully evolved Pokemon with this typing. It has 9 resistances and 1 immunity, and it has 2 moves of the same type that raise or lower its speed. So the thing about this is the last one kind of gives it away, in my opinion.
It's
especially
hard.
If you
it's actually harder than you think.
It is, but like obviously this is coming from the guy who's like, I know the answer.
Yeah.
It's like, so I think that last one is very obvious, but
I will tell you what helped me figure it out. It's the 9 resistances and 1 immunity. The 9 resistances immediately just like, it has to be a steel type.
Here's the thing. TikTok doesn't know what immunities are.
Yeah. When you sent me the screenshot of the Hisuian Zoroark rabbit hole, I'm like, we're officially on TikTok now.
It's so obnoxious, man. And like, dude, the number of people are like, "Oh, it's Empoleon." Just like, no, it's not. Empoleon's not legal. Like, oh, that means it's Smeargle, right? I'm like, when did Smeargle get 9 immunity, like 9 resistances? I'm looking for the Zoroark answers, just because
Hisuian
it's
Zoroark.
so.
There were so many Hisuian Zoroark guesses, which it is like a cool Pokemon. It doesn't match the criteria because it has a bunch of immunities, but
yeah. So it has, according to TikTok, it has 2 immunities, and it's like, no, that's not right. Like, and so then there's this comment that says it has 1 immunity and it's only dark. Fighting and ghosts do no damage to it. It's like, but what is an immunity? And why is dark now one of them?
That's what it is.
It's like, first off, it has 3 and it's not dark. It's weak to dark.
Yeah. So to shorten this up, the answer is Reverum.
It is correct.
And it took me a minute to figure out that Reverum was the Pokemon that we were talking about. The moves that raise or lower its speed would be Shift Gear and Spin Out.
Correct.
Also, it is the only Steel Poison type, so that makes it kind of easy to narrow down.
Like, yeah, there's a couple people.
Like I said, when I said it's like it has to be a Steel type, that's when I figured it out. I was like, oh, it has to be like something that we haven't seen before. It has to be like Reverum.
There's a lot of people who's like, it's Tinkaton. It's like, no, it's not.
Um,
Guys, do you know how many fairy steel types there are? So I even commented on one. I'm just like, there's multiple steel fairy types, and they're like, yeah, but are they fully evolved? Like, yes.
Klefki.
I didn't even say Klefki. I'm just like, there's Mawile and Zacian. Yes.
I meant, like, in the game, Klefki's the one that comes to mind.
I've completely forgot about Klefki.
Yeah, Klefki, the original steel fairy type.
It's not! Mawile existed for 3 generations, sir.
Mawile wasn't a fairy type before that game.
Correct, but that's besides the point.
Klefki was steel fairy. And then Mawile got fairy added. When they made the type.
So yeah, go show TikTok some love.
Yeah,
it's been really good for us.
Yep. It's been the guest and mystery monsters have been fun, but it gives you time to like come up with them. And
yeah, for sure.
They'll be. I believe we've decided we're just going to upload them on Fridays from now on.
Yep.
Like the lattering's the same day, but it doesn't matter. Like
yeah,
the shorts algorithm and the YouTube algorithm are completely different algorithms. They are completely separate from each other. It does not matter when they get uploaded.
Yep.
You also did another thing while we were part of it while we were recording.
Yes,
I got the email notification.
It's not finalized, but it's really, really close to being done. So hopefully sometime this week it will be official live. But we have a Patreon.
Yeah.
It's something that I've kind of wanted to do for a while, and I finally said, screw it, I'm gonna make one. So currently we have 3 tiers. You have your lowest tier, which is going to give you a Discord role. It's like, cool, connect your accounts, it does its thing, cool. Then there will be the next tier up, which will put you in the credits of the the podcast video.
It would be scrolling right now as we're talking.
And then there is the next tier up, which is going to be your vocal shout outs on the podcast. I will read those out and plug those at the end of the episode and everything. So I'm really hoping that 3/4 of the episode moving forward is me reading names. So if the podcast becomes 3 hours long and 2 of that is me reading names, I'm happy.
Yeah, I was about to say we will be very happy.
So, because that probably means I'm not working anymore.
I'm not sure what we'll do with the Patreon money yet. We'll probably just put it back into the podcast for a little while.
It's gonna sit there until we need to pay for something.
Yeah. Maybe use it for the invitational, maybe save it for something. Who knows?
So yeah, once I get all of that actually nailed down and everything, I will post about it. And yeah, so go check us out on Patreon. We're Littleroot Lessons.
Yeah.
And, if you want to give us money, that's another way you can do so.
Yep. Anchor support is turned off anyway because it's just not worth leaving it on. They want us to do Anchor subs. I'm just like, no. I'm not activating that.
I didn't know that was even a thing. Also, Discord subs are a thing?
Yeah, I don't know what that is either.
I don't either, but if you want to give us more money, I think that's
I don't know if that's how that works. I don't think that's how that works, but
I'm not plugging it because I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Definitely just go check out the Patreon. The last piece of business here before we end everything is we have the winners selected for the $20 eShop cards. Yano Can, Sand Tacos, and Kamikaze Kid. You know who you are. Reach out to me. DM. If you weren't paying attention here, I'll have it posted in the Discord too.
Yep.
And that is the end of 148.
Cool. Bye, guys.
No, do the thing.
Alright, fine. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. If you're listening over on YouTube, if you're listening on any of the audio platforms, make sure you subscribe. It really does help us out. And leave us a 5-star review. And if you're over on Apple, if you want to write us a review, I'll eventually read them when I get some.
Yeah.
So, I'm just saying, it's that simple. Just leave us a review and I'll read it.
Yeah.
Do you want me to say your silly little name on the podcast? Because I will, but
you have to do
I can't until
first.
people do things. Where am I at? What am I doing?
Twitter.
Yes, you can check us out on Twitter, at LR Lessons, myself at Mr. Missouri 25, Carl's at Musical VGC. You can check us out on Twitch as well. I'm at Mr. Missouri 25, Carl's at Musical. And you can always, come hang out with us on the amazing community Discord. That link is, as always, down in the show notes of the video. Check us out on the website, lrlessons.com. Check out the merch page while you're there. Go and, pick up a sweet, sweet t-shirt or some coffee mugs. We got all kinds of stuff on there.
Yeah.
If you are interested in supporting us but aren't able to or don't want to pick up merch, because I get it, it's expensive.
Go check out the Patreon.
Go check out Patreon. It'll be up eventually, I promise.
Yep.
Because now that Anchor support is turned off, we definitely are gonna be working on doing that. Yeah. I promise.
It essentially forces Carter to do stuff. This is fine. This works out for me. Yeah. Because I still put the AdSense in and it's fine.
Oh, okay. There's a couple other things that I'm working on in the background that I just need to sit down and record and get them put in too.
Yeah.
But I'm lazy and haven't really had time to.
Yeah. We'll get there eventually.
Yeah, for sure. But I think that's it. I think we're out of here.
Yep, sounds about it.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a fantastic week. Peace.